You are listening to the Yummy Mummy podcast, a bonus episode.
Welcome to the Yummy Mummy podcast, where you will learn brand new and shockingly different tools to lose weight for the last time. And now, here's your host, certified life and weight loss coach, Laura Conley.
What is happening? A bonus episode. Okay, so guys, here is what happened. I hosted an open house for young moms that were on the fence. Like they didn't know, like, should I join? Should I not join? And then we had Yum Mom alum come to this open house and answer questions. And their answers were so good. I mean, I was crying. I was having the chills. They were just bananas. Bananas good. Stupid good. So I was like, I have to bring this to the humans, especially if you're on the fence about signing up. Now, we're doing something that we have never, ever done before, and we are keeping the doors open for an additional week. So this week, like actually today, we kicked off the October cohort, and you guys, it is fire. It is such a good group. I am so excited for them. Like I already know their future selves and how much they're going to create. The inspiration, the connection, it was special. So it's not too late. We are doing something we've never done before, and we are keeping doors open for another several days because this week is orientation week. We haven't really dove. We haven't gotten into the meat and potatoes, no pun intended. We haven't gotten into the meat and potatoes of the content yet, so there's still time to join. So I bring you this most amazing content, and I want, there's one deal that you got to make with me if you're going to listen to this episode. You have to suspend your disbelief for just this podcast that this is for you, that you can do this. These yummy mummies that talk on this open house will inspire you if you let them, if you get out of your own way. It's just so dang, whatever. It's just so so good. So without further ado, I bring you the Yum Mum open house party. If you want to scroll through like me talking about what the Yummy Mummy experience is, you'll start to hear the Yum Mum alum talking like 10, 12 minutes in. So you could always fast forward through that. And if you are ready to sign up, just go to lauraconley.com and click work with me and get in now, because doors are officially closing on October 30th at midnight. Okay, so get your booty in there. Let's do this. You want to lose weight now. Now is the right time. And the right time, guys, is a decision. You trust me. You want to do this while the holidays are happening, because then you have the skills to overcome all of the holidays, all of the trips, all of the things that used to be obstacles. And I promise you, you're going to enjoy your holidays more than ever before. You still get to have your thing. I pinky promise you, this is the time. Let's go into 2024 without even having to worry about weight loss, because it's already done. The nail is in the coffin. Come December 31st, January 1st, you are going to be like so happy that your past self did this for you. I promise you, I pinky promise. So get your booty in there, sign up now, and let's do this. Hello, welcome. All right, babes. So we are going to just dive right in. Welcome to the Yummy Mummy open house party. What's up? So we're going to talk all things Yummy Mummy. We have some Yum Mum alum that are here, and they will answer any of the questions that you guys have as well. So super special that they are here. I love it. So awesome. First of all, what is the Yummy Mummy? What is the Yummy Mummy? The Yummy Mummy experience is 6 months of group coaching and coursework, and bonus, a private community that guarantees you lose weight for the last time. It almost sounds like too good to be true, doesn't it? It's like, I've tried a million things. They've all promised the same things and they don't work. I hear you. And I was actually thinking about you today, and I was thinking about, what did they need to hear? What is someone who's over here struggling with their weight, their body image, their relationship with food, right? You can probably identify with this if you're like,
waking up every day, not feeling like yourself, hungover, in a shame spiral because you ate too many freaking wheat thins or whatever last night. Clothes don't fit. You don't really want to go to your social events. All the way over here where you're actually free from food. You actually have lost weight for the last time. It really does sound too good to be true. But what I want to let you know is that this is new and different. This is unlike anything else you have ever tried. So why is it different? Number one, we work with your hunger hormones. So this is not calories in, calories out. You're not going to be feeling deprived. You're not going to be counting anything. If you don't work out, you don't need to start working out. It really does sound too good to be true, but most of us, especially us Americans, we do not have balanced hunger hormones, and therefore it's like nearly impossible to lose weight. Have you guys been there, or have you been there where it just feels so hard? My clients tell me time after time after time, this is the easiest way. This is the easiest thing I've ever done to lose weight. Crazy, right? So, number one, balance hunger hormones. Number two, we change your mindset. So we literally use neuroplasticity to rewire your brain, because what you think is who you become. So we actually change your identity by changing your thoughts, which I know it sounds kind of like meta, but you will feel like a different person over here because your brain becomes rewired. Right now you have a diet brain who's probably over restricting and then under restricting, right? Like you're overdoing it on the weekends, and then maybe you're like underdoing it on the weeks to try to make up for the weekends. We literally rewire the programming of your brain. Right now, you are conducting habits that most likely are not serving you. Over here, you'll conduct habits that actually serve you. So cool. Well, also through mindset work and neuroplasticity will actually lower your desire for food. So right now you probably have a little bit of an over desire for food, which means you overeat food, which means you're over your natural weight or what you want to weigh. Through mindset work, we lower your desire so that you actually have a natural desire for food. You're still going to want it. You're still going to enjoy it. And then you eat a natural amount, and then you weigh your natural weight. It's so cool. Really, truly is. Number three, emotions. Most of us are actually emotional eaters. So you are going to learn to stop eating for emotional reasons. Now, I did not think I was an emotional eater. I did not think I overate food. But what I found out, and was actually a huge relief for me, is that I actually was an overeater. So anytime you are using food to solve a problem that's not hunger, that's an emotional eat. So if you're eating for fun, if you're eating for boredom, if you're eating for stress, if you're just nibbling on the nuts at 2 p.m., but you're not actually hungry, that is an emotional eat. And that's a good thing because we can actually clean that up. So we learn how to feel through our emotions, whether that's positive emotions or negative emotions. We learn how to feel bored. We learn how to have fun without having the number one fun thing be food. We learn how to process our stress instead of eat it. We learn how to seek comfort in other ways. It's so, so cool. Number four, we've got accountability inside the program. So you have daily accountability inside our Slack workspace, which is like a really cool, easy app to use. You will be learning the skill of inner accountability so that you can do this on your own out there in the world. So freaking cool, right? I just love that. Okay. Number five. Okay. So we're talking about how do we get you from point A to point B? We literally balance your hunger hormones, rewire your brain, learn how to feel, stop emotionally eating, stop eating for reasons other than hunger. Number four, daily accountability. As you're having that external daily check-in, you're learning the inner accountability, how to want to follow your own word, like the promise you've made to yourself. You actually learn how to want to follow through on that. So cool. And then number five is a concept, a principle inside the Yummy Mommy method that I call fun love. You're actually going to learn how to enjoy your life. You're going to actually have fun doing this, because I'm like, what is the point of life if we're not having a little bit or a lot of fun? Oh, and the love part, small, tiny part that some of you guys will probably want to cringe when I say it. We actually have to learn to love ourselves. And this is good news because you're with yourself 24/7. Can you imagine if you had that annoying girl from junior high following you around all the time? And you did not love them? That would suck. That's what some of us are doing. So we really need to learn the skill of unconditional love. So this is kind of high level. How do we get you from point A to point B? Okay. So we're going to start tomorrow, Tuesday. So I want to keep the doors open. So we will keep the doors open for a couple more days because tomorrow is just orientation. And then next week is where we go like full throttle, like all in. So cool. So we start tomorrow, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and we go all the way. So people are like, well, how much is it? I'm like, well, it's $5,000. And then people are like, whoa, that's a lot of money. And I'm like, yeah, it's expensive. And it is the best investment that you will ever, ever, ever make. And I give a money back guarantee. Now, the money back guarantee is more around belief, more around, I want to help you believe in you. Because right now, you probably don't believe in yourself. You're probably like, well, I've tried so many things and I've quote unquote failed at all of the things. I still don't weigh what I want. I've literally tried everything. Your self trust is so diminished at this point, which is totally normal. This was totally me too. So I just want to offer to you guys that you really will like learn to have your own back. And I can't tell you how transformative the investment in yourself actually is. It's actually a huge bonus. It's a huge benefit, actually, being like, okay, I'm going to put myself first. I'm going to spend the money on myself. Right. And the money back guarantee is I'm like, yoo-hoo, it's risk free. If it doesn't work, which it will work, you get your money back. Plain and simple. So easy. So I kind of want to open it up for questions for the Yum Mom alum. So if you guys have any questions, please, pretty please with a cherry on top, pop them into the chat. And if you're ready and you're excited to sign up, go to lauraconley.com and click work with me and you can get your spot now. So see what questions we have going on. What if I don't believe in myself? Okay, so let me actually, hey, Yum Mom alum, if you're cool, I'm going to bring you on to the panel so we can just like sort of have a really fun discussion. Okay, so you guys, you can unmute yourselves and just or you can even use the raise hand button too if you're like, oh, I've got a good one for this. So what would you say to somebody who doesn't feel like they can believe because they've tried so many things in the past? Like, how did you get yourself to sign up when push came to shove? Like, what did you say to yourself? What would you say to them? Somebody who is in the shoes that you used to be in, but doesn't believe because they have all this quote unquote evidence that weight loss is not for them. That permanent weight loss doesn't work. What would you say? Jennifer, do you want to go first?
I did not believe because I had never, in my earlier days when I was simply trying to lose 10 pounds, I was never really successful. So when I found myself with 50 pounds to lose, I certainly did not believe that I could do it. But honestly, I was desperate. I was desperate to get back to living my life. I knew I wasn't. And I have young children and I was missing parts of their life. And I had a friend who had done YMX and I borrowed her belief in me, basically. She told me, she literally said to me, I know you don't believe right now that you can do this, and that's okay. And she's like, I will believe for you, and Laura will believe for you until you believe for yourself. And I have to tell you, it didn't take too long. It's not like I was 3 months in and still not believing in myself because the results came. And as soon as the results start to come, it's like anything. As you go along and you get better at something and you learn about something, you really do start to believe. So it's okay. It's okay if you don't believe right now. You should still sign up because you will believe in yourself more quickly than you think.
Oh, that's so good. Okay, does anyone else have anything they want to add to that? Karen looks like she wants to talk.
Okay, you could tell. Okay, so what I think I would say, and I think I said this to my best friend Jill, who is also on this call, and is that none of us believed. Like literally, I was like, this is just another thing I'm wasting money on, sorry. But I was willing to do it because the podcast, I think I lost like 5 pounds in like a month. I was like, that's pretty good. But I really believed in the borrowing the belief. And then I also kind of was like, oh, wow. If it doesn't work out, she's going to give me my money back. Now, I love to say this part. Everybody loses weight. I mean, it sounds like ridiculous. I really feel like I sound like a infomercial, but honestly, it's like I spent my entire adult life fighting between 160 and 170. And I love to give numbers because people don't, but I mean, it was a battle. I'd go up to 170. I'd do a cleanse, a juice cleanse, a freaking Prolon, every single diet book you can imagine, the Galveston, everything. And I could get down to 160 and then I'd go on a vacation, suddenly be 170. Battle. Like ripping out my hair battle, crying, tears. And this was just easy, ladies. This is easy. And it makes no sense because it's nothing crazy. It's like, I think she's a warlock sometimes, but I am like, now I'm just hanging out at 140. Oh, I had a date night. I went a little crazy. I go to 143, 145. Oh, well, I get back on my protocol. And it feels so good and calm to know I just know what to do. And ladies, borrow my belief in you. I don't even know who you are out there, but literally, I'm well over 2 years hanging out in this 140 to 145. And I can tell you it's been easy and nobody even really notices that I did anything different except for that I look totally different.
Oh,
Okay,
you mean like no one's like crazy? No one's like, oh God, Karen, you're such a psycho. You're so
right.
psycho.
No, if anything, I actually had a couple of neighbors who used to be like, Karen, why do you go so like big and then so, like crazy? Like, cause I used to go on these huge dinners and have wine and I still do a little crazy, a little girls' night, maybe a Nashville trip. But then I would literally come back and be like, I can't see anyone for 4 weeks because I'm doing some Whole30 or something. And I would be so serious about it. And you were like, if you could just get to here. And I never could. I never understood it, but I do now. Thanks. And I love you, Laura.
Oh my God, I love you so much. It almost does sound like too good to be true. Like if you put yourself back in the shoes that we were all in, like it almost does feel too good to be true. Like I sometimes can't believe like, oh God, that really was my struggle. It's so crazy. Who else wants to speak to helping people believe that can't believe because they feel like they have so much evidence against them?
I can.
Jill. Oh, yeah. Okay, Jill and then Carly.
Okay. So I believed because I, like Karen, is my best friend, and I knew that she did it, I could do it too. But where I lacked the belief was once the 6 month was over, I was so concerned that my weight would come back on. Like, I'm like, is this like a 6 month program, like the Weight Watchers thing? And I am over a year into this program, well past my 6 months, and I've been able to maintain it. So that is where my belief still comes every day, is that what Laura teaches you, you're going to be able to take this and live this way for the rest of your life. So I think that's what I feared, is that how would I be able to continue to do this after the Yummy Mummy experience?
And how are you able to do that?
I keep it really, really simple. I follow my protocol. And honestly, my protocol hasn't changed since day one. And it's made it really easy. I mean, I lost 27 pounds and I'm up a few pounds, but I believe that I'm at my natural weight now. Where if I, just like Karen, I may go up a few pounds on a weekend, but roll around on Monday and I don't worry about it. So
yeah, you know what? I love the calm in your voice. Like you can almost like I can see them. I can see you guys on Zoom, obviously. So like to be able to see you and like watch you embody the calm. Like I know for me, when I used to go on vacations or date nights or girls' nights or whatever, I would go out. I would go like crazy bananas, and then I would flip out because the scale was up, which is actually so funny because it's like, what did you think was going to happen, Laura? But you guys are just so calm. Like if the scale does pop up a couple pounds, because whatever, sold or date night or whatever, it's like there's just no drama, which is a huge kind of like, yes, there's the physical weight, but like the mental, emotional weight loss is huge as well.
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Yeah. Carly and then Katie. Thanks, Jill. That was so helpful.
I'll just share that I just borrowed Laura's belief, and she was just like, yeah, it'll work. It does every time. You are not.
Oh, yeah, because I remember you're like, no, really,
totally,
I'm a special unicorn. You're
I
like,
was
no,
a special unicorn. Yes, I definitely
You
thought
are a special unicorn, just in other ways.
yeah.
Good.
But I was just like, I ate like a vegan diet. I was like, had been a personal trainer. Taught yoga. I worked out. I did all the things. And it was like, it just seemed, yeah, like we said, seemed too good to be true. But Laura was like, no, you just do this money back guarantee. I know that this will work for you. And kind of like Karen said, at some point, it's like, what do you have to lose? Like, I'll try this. Like, yeah, like literally, what do I have to lose? She'll give me my money back.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was really cool because once you start going through the steps, I think like Jennifer was saying that you start to build that confidence in yourself. And then that is like the biggest gift, I think, almost from the whole program is like knowing you have your own back, feeling confident that when you know what to do and you just keep showing up for yourself, that you can have these crazy, incredible results.
Yeah. And that's the part that always makes me cry. Like, yeah, the weight loss is so awesome. And that will make me cry sometimes too. But like the ability and the knowing that you can have your own back and that you can believe in yourself. Like you get to do the thing you thought you were never gonna do. You actually conquer the mountain you thought you were never gonna get to the top of. Like I remember kind of having a sense of like, oh my God, like if I could do this and I guess I can do anything. Like this is so crazy.
I think that's so true. And like, it's such a good point because like just watching, I mean, I've been in this community for a couple years now, 2.5 or something, and just seeing how many women come out of this. And then like, I know what I did. I came out and I launched a business. It took all this, like so much of my brain was on like, oh, like I don't feel good or am I doing enough? And having these doubts about myself. And once you clean that up, it's like, damn, I'm gonna go change the world now. And like, I see so many people doing that and just this new zest for life that's like so inspiring.
Yeah, I love that. Katie, were you gonna say something?
Sure. I was going to talk about rewiring the brain is what makes this so different, right? I mean, anyone can stay in a container for 30 days or 60 days or 6 months or whatever and white knuckle it and do the work. But what I thought was interesting is how you kind of spun it and that actually doing the work is, revising your brain and your thoughts and everything else that goes into it so that it doesn't seem like it's signing up for something that's going to be grueling because you're taking your brain along the way the whole time. It was really hard to press send when I initially joined. But then once you kind of get into the container and you realize, wait a second, what I thought it was going to be all about was, well, just tell me what to eat and tell me what to do and tell me all this. And then you get in there and you realize, oh no, like it's managing this thing. It's managing what's going on upstairs.
It's like if you feel like you know what to do, but you just can't get yourself to do it, it's because your brain. It's because you need to rewire your brain. And that's been like was a huge aha for me. It's like, oh, that's why the 73,000 feels like other things that I tried, the ketos and the Weight Watchers and the cleanses and like what the 2-a-days, whatever, didn't work. It's because my brain was not like, it was just not computing. Does not compute. Yeah, that is so right on. Okay, so we're getting some questions about cost. Let's talk about how you guys got over that hump because we in our society are not trained to spend $5,000 on number one, ourselves, number two, coaching, number three, we've already spent a lot of money. Some of us have already spent a lot of money on this problem and not solved it. So like, how can we justify spending this money? And then like, what if it doesn't work again, right? Which we've already covered that it's going to work. So that's what I want to talk about is how did you guys get over the hump or what would you tell somebody that had money concerns? Because I know that that is a very normal concern that is out there. Casey, you want to go?
Sure. I mean, if I was in a different place or whatever, how would I approach it? And I was thinking about this earlier today. I was just thinking if I didn't have access to the money up front, I would just do whatever I could to find. Like I would probably charge it or I'd find a way. I literally would choose to not worry about it. I'm not a financial advisor, so I don't know if that's the best for anyone or everyone's scenario. But like, I just will say that like, you're protected by the guarantee, right? Like, so there's that, which I think is really nice and you're never going to need, but it's there. And I think that, I mean, my personal I guess what I think I shared before was that we had access to the money. We chose to do something different than a house project, and my husband was really supportive, and so we just literally made a decision to try it. And I was religious about the homework, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do all these things and I'll make sure that no matter what, if I mess up or if I do something wrong, like I'll get my money back and I'll be totally fine." So I was like a psycho every day and about whatever. And then until literally it's kind of like I just woke up and was like, "Oh, I don't need to do that." Like it literally doesn't matter. This is so easy. This is so natural. This is like the best thing I've ever done in my life. And to this day, years later, I still use it all and it's invaluable. Like it's just,
That's so
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I think that like again, we're trained to spend $5,000 on house projects. Or like if something is broken in your house or your car, like you figure it out. And I don't want to say that your body's broken or your spirit's broken or your relationship with yourself is broken, but I know that I used to identify as that, and I know some of my clients used to speak like that. So if something is broken, when it comes to so many other areas of our lives, we figure it out, right? Like our kids, if something is up with them, their teeth or their whatever, social, emotional, or whatever, we figure it out. We really do.
I think
Uh,
if you break it down too, it's about $100 an hour. Like you're going to pay a trainer for that. I thought about hiring a trainer. I was like, oh, I just want to get like, they'll get me in shape. But
yeah,
um, yeah, you get so much more. So
it's so true. It's so true. Yeah, if you do the math, that's what I'll go to Jennifer in a minute, but Jennifer was talking about like just do the math on like what you already spend and what you'll continue to spend over the course of your life if you don't solve it once and for all. And you'll probably spend money on things that don't solve it once and for all. Jill.
Yeah, you just kind of hit on a few points. I mean, when I found out it was 5,000, I just said, "Oh, forget it." I mean, what? Like that's ridiculous. But but luckily I had about a month between the next session, but I couldn't stop listening to your podcast. I couldn't stop watching you on Instagram, and every time I listened to you, it just made more sense and I became more convicted of I'm going to figure out how to do this. I mean, and I figured it out. Like I had to borrow. Somebody lended me money, but I was going to do it. And
Yeah.
I just thought of all of the money that I've spent on the Weight Watchers, on the Whole30s, on the multiple trainers, and I've spent well over that in the course of my life, and I just was not where I was. So it just to me it made sense. And when I shared it with my husband, he was like, "Go for it. Like if you think this is going to work for you, then do it." So
Mm,
it was scary pushing the button, but I'm so glad I did it.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I think that first of all, it's so helpful. Like you were resourceful, you figured it out. And I think a lot of our partners or husbands or people will meet us with support. I think a lot of us are surprised, but they want us to heal this so badly too because they love us and they want us to be free from this. And as my husband will say, like, I'm just a lot nicer now.
So this is something I always want to say because you just brought this up is that my husband will definitely say it's the best money that we've ever spent. And I think a lot of husbands do and will. And my husband went on a podcast to talk about it. I mean, I should probably know the podcast number, but kind of like a husbands if you're debating. And I mean, so I think I'm always like, if you want your husband to talk to me, like, or talk to my husband would talk to them. Like, so if you want to reach out to Laura, she'll get you my contact info.
I love it. It's so good. I know. Come on. Like the husbands must be pretty happy if they're willing to like go on a podcast. People are freaked out about going on podcasts. Like it was pretty fun. Yeah, I don't know. It was like it was a while ago. I gotta do another one. We gotta get another get some husbands on. That's so cool, Karen. I love it. Yes, I mean it's so true. I cannot tell you how many testimonials I have in that Google Doc that I have. That's like my husband said it's the best money we ever spent. My husband said it's the best money we ever spent. Like over and over and over again. Jennifer.
Yeah, two things. I did have access to the money, but it was still like, oof, that's a lot. And so I asked myself, if you could pay that amount right now and wake up tomorrow at the number or the body you think you always wanted to have, would you pay for it? And I was like, well, sure, if I'd wake up tomorrow, absolutely. But I also knew if I paid that money and I woke up the next day at that number, I don't know that I would appreciate it as much without doing the work and putting in the time. It does make you it puts your skin in the game, right? So that's one thing about it. The other thing I would say, and this was really what drove me, was the opportunity cost of all the things I wasn't doing, the places I wasn't going, the clothes I wasn't buying, the family pictures I wasn't making up excuses to not swim with my kids. Like, if I tried to put a number on all of those things, all of those life experiences I wasn't doing because I didn't like the way I looked and I wasn't comfortable in my own skin, if I tried to assign a dollar value to that, I couldn't, because those are moments, those are priceless. You can't get those back. When you bypass those, they're gone. And I had to work. I had to go through hell to have my children. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm sitting on the sidelines of their lives and mine. So I thought about it more as, what's the opportunity cost if I don't do this? And that was made it kind of a no-brainer for me. So if that resonates with you.
Oh, it's such a good question. Yeah. What's the cost of not doing it? It's huge. And we don't even know. Like, I mean, you had a million good answers, but there's so many other answers too. Carly.
You and I have talked a lot about how like it's like not, it seems like bad to like say you want to lose weight. And I think it's like, oh, you're supposed to be body positive and you're supposed to just love your body and you're so vain if you want to be skinny. And I think a lot of us like come here though because it's like we just don't, like, we know there's something wrong in our body. Like we know we're not living in like the body that we're going to get the most out of life. Like there is a disconnect there, and that it's not like, I mean, when I did this, I was like 41. I'm not going to be on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine at that point. Like I'm just doing this to like feel my best, live my best.
You never know.
That Martha Stewart was like in her 80s and she was on Sports Illustrated.
There we go. Goals. But I just think like, I think about health stuff and I geek out about all this stuff. And like one of the things that's so cool that you get out of this program is like real like metabolic health. And I'm geeking out over like Peter Attia and Outlive. And he talks about how like poor metabolic health and like not managing your blood sugar leads to like heart disease and dementia and cancer and all this kind of stuff. And our society is like, we don't want to spend money on health. We'll wait till we're sick. So it's like people don't want to pay to go to the PT. They'll wait until they need a hip replacement. And like that's so much harder and more expensive. And I think it's the same thing with this. This is actually about like being the best in your body and being as healthy as you can be. And it's like, what are you saving from in the future? Like if you're helping yourself have a lower risk of cancer or heart disease or whatever, and you feel hot, like that's worth so much money.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. It really is. I know. I don't promote it as much I don't promote this program as like on the health reasons, but the health reasons are like, there's dozens of them. So many health reasons to weigh what you want to weigh, to be at your natural weight, so to speak, because you're right. When we're metabolically flexible, our risk of cancers, Alzheimer's, like which they're calling like type 2 or type 3 diabetes, metabolic disease, like all diabetes too, like we are setting ourselves up for a long, rich, healthy, vibrant life. And it's so awesome. Like for us, for our kids, for everybody. So good. I want to talk quickly about the community because some people are freaked out. They're like, I don't know, like I'm nervous about the community. I don't want to go in the community and like air my dirty laundry and like have to share. So what would you guys say about the community? Were you guys hesitant about the community at first? And then, yeah, Casey everybody's nodding their heads. Okay. Who wants to speak to it?
Okay, I feel like somebody has to say this. Nobody wants the group. Like, nobody wants the group when they start. We're all like, we just want Laura. I'm like, I'll pay extra. Can I just have you? And like, no. It is so much better with the group. You want the group. The people, you'll end up being like, I mean, I've obviously like ended up really forming great friendships with some people from the group, but you also just form these like kind of like distant friendships, or, you know, it's like any situation. but you cheer each other on, and like it's just you're inspired by other people, and then other people will have a situation and you won't even realize it like translates to your life, and suddenly you're like, oh yeah, that completely changed me. So we all loved the group after the group, but none of us wanted it in the first place, if that makes sense.
Oh, it totally does. It totally does. I mean, there was a short while, it was very short-lived because I saw so quickly where I was doing one-on-ones and group at the same time. And as soon as I saw the power of the group, I was like, I literally can't do the one-on-ones. It's just like almost unfair. So now I just give you guys one option only. Anybody else want to say anything about the group?
I'll just say I was for sure so scared. I mean, I was like, I think my brain told me something like, if you never tell anyone how much you weigh and you don't admit that you want to lose weight, like maybe no one will just even notice. It's fine. Like,
Yeah,
just
maybe it's not even
pretend, you
real.
know?
Yeah.
And I think that the coolest thing is just seeing all these people. Like, I mean, you can look at this group up here, and it's like, I look at these people and I'm like, they're just like beautiful and amazing and wonderful. And they have the same thoughts and the same concerns and the same stuff as me. And it like just normalizes some of the stuff that we go through, or they'll ask questions that it's like you couldn't think to ask or you were too shy to ask. And then you get so much from everybody else's work and coaching than you could just get from yourself. So it's like very valuable. And you don't die or like catch on fire when you tell anyone that you want to lose weight or what you weigh. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it really is a safe space. Like it actually makes it feel even more safe because you don't feel alone. You're like, oh, I'm not crazy. This is like what everyone's going through.
I mean, again, I'm well over 2 years. And even now, when something happens that could have to do with weight or eating, that's where I turn. I like just sometimes just putting it out there. It like, it's just still so much part of like my day to day. So thank you for the container.
Yeah, I mean, I think the container is so special and so needed. And I think that's one thing that's so wrong about like diet culture is that we're taught that we're supposed to do it by ourselves and we're supposed to do it in 45 days and then we're supposed to be done. And I'm like, this is a lifelong practice. Like, you guys all know my like teeth brushing analogy. It's like, if you don't brush your teeth are going to fall out of your face. You're going to have some consequences if you don't spend 5 minutes on your teeth, and you're going to have some consequences if you don't spend 5 minutes a day on your health. Like you just are. You don't have to be in a container after the 6 months in order to practice brushing your teeth. It's just only if you want to, right? I always say that it's never because you need, it's only because you want to. Jennifer.
What I was going to say is that there's the community on the calls, and then there's also the community within Slack that Laura mentioned. And I was quite certain that I would die if I had to enter my weight into Slack for the first time. Like I was like, no freaking way, especially because I felt like I probably had the second highest starting weight of my cohort, or at least that's how I perceived it. And I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And I did it, and I didn't die. And what was amazing, and
It's
just
not
like
mandatory. You don't
it's
have
not
to.
correct. You're correct. But I felt
But
like
there is some reasoning behind it.
there is. And what I found is whether you're entering your weight once a week or you're putting your daily downloads in, I was surprised that other people paid attention to what I was posting, but in a very positive way, because then they celebrate your successes with you. I got into a car accident like the week after I started in YMX, and I have to tell you, without that container, I would have used that as a reason to eat all the things and just throw it away. But people were so kind and so supportive. And then as time went on and the weight's coming off, like people would notice, like, that's a new low for you, or that's a big deal for you. And so if you really open yourself to it, it will bring back tenfold and you won't die. I was certain that I would just die of embarrassment, and I didn't. And it was awesome because sharing in that way, to the degree that you're comfortable, really that vulnerability invites people, creates that support for you. So there is a method to the madness for sure.
I love it. Casey.
I too didn't want the group. And it's so funny to hear every single person like feel exactly the same to us now, all on the other side, all sharing. There's no way we would want or could think to live without each other in one way or another. It's so powerful to see that and to have experienced it. So one, thank you. But I think there's this misperception that we have to go through things alone. We have to overcome and achieve on our own and our own like hardest battles.
And that makes us stronger for some odd reason. Like, I'm like, no, actually, it's you become way stronger when you put yourself out there, actually. Sorry. keep going.
Totally. I read Drew Barrymore's book and I'll never forget this line, but she said, or somebody said to her, she's like, there's very few things we do in this life alone. We think that we have to do it alone, but there's like, have kids, go to school, get married, climb the ladder, whatever we're, starting a company. Like there's very few things we actually do alone. So it's like amazing to have this like support group. And I think sometimes you don't know what you need until you get it. You don't necessarily know how much you needed this support or this group at the time when you start until you have it and you're like, oh my God, I actually needed this so bad and I had no idea.
Do you guys have any other questions out there in the audience? I'm kind of like skimming through them and we've checked a lot of the boxes. Let's kind of end with like closing remarks. So is there anything, well, Casey, I'm kind of pulling from you from the other day. She had like a before and a now. So if you have like one word or feeling that you felt before and how you feel now, I'd love to hear it. Like before when you were struggling and you hadn't healed your relationship and you hadn't like come into your natural weight, whatever. How did you feel before and how do you feel now? And then anything else you feel like the audience or the people out there should hear or need to hear?
I would say it's hard to pick one word. I felt a lot. I felt extremely uncomfortable in my body, discouraged and hopeless. And now I feel like I never need to do anything else. I never need to doubt. I've never been more confident. I've never been able to get myself to a place of calm as much as I can now in any scenario with anything. And even now I'm like up in my weight a little bit and I'm testing some things and I feel amazing. I feel really like unstoppable. And going in the middle of going through it, like even through the like muck, if you will, and the unknown and the like testing of like, oh, yep, nope, that's not for me. Apparently I can't just go back and eat a whole box of chocolate. Like my body's like gonna react. Shocker.
Oh, it's so weird. It's so confusing. Katie.
I felt like life was kind of running me, and now I'm at the wheel again. Little kid, work, busy life, you name it, husband, all this stuff. And then I felt like I didn't have a say in a lot of it. And now I've just kind of taken back control and I feel a lot more empowered.
Oh, that's so badass. That's so awesome, Katie. I can so see that in you too. It's so cool. So it's such a privilege, you guys, that I get to like do this work and watch the transformations. Like it's just like such a cool gift. I love it. Who else? Jennifer?
I'll go. The word I always use of where I was when I started was paralyzed. I just had no idea what to do. And I didn't know what to do. So I didn't do anything. Basically, the words I would use to describe myself now are proud, empowered, and positive. It's affected so many parts of my life, not just the weight. And if I was y'all out there, I would want to know how much weight people have lost in this program. So I will tell you, I am down 47 pounds overall, and I lost 42 of those actively in my 6 months of YMX. On my own, I could only manage to lose 5 pounds. Or prior to YMX, I managed to lose a whopping 5 pounds.
That's amazing.
And then I've lost 42-ish. Yeah. So, and I think I'm hitting a plateau. I didn't plateau during the 6 months I was in YMX, and I think I'm actually plateauing right now a little bit. And I'm not worried about it. I just keep going and it'll start moving again.
Yeah.
I've maintained what I lost in the 6 months, and I'll just keep going. Whereas before I would have been very discouraged, I think, prior to the mindset work. So
yeah. And you know what to do too, right? Like I mean, I teach, this is just a side note, but inside the experience, we learn, number one, that almost all of us are going to have a plateau, and that doesn't necessarily mean that anything's gone wrong. It just means your body hasn't caught up. But if it ends up being what I would call a true plateau, you know exactly what to do. Like Jennifer knows exactly what to do in terms of how to tweak and move forward, which I think is, a part of that calm that she's describing. It's just like there's just so much, I don't know, confidence in knowing that, and not being afraid of your future, really, when it comes to this. Yeah, that's so helpful. Jill, do you want to share?
Yeah. For some reason, the word complete just keeps coming to my mind. And we've touched on the weight loss, but you also mentioned there's so many other things that you get from this program. And it's taking away in ways that I work with my husband or work with my children, or the way that I approach things on my job now, where prior to this experience, I was a different person, and I'm very calm, and it's given me just so many tools that I can use in, my whole life, the weight loss, but then just in my personal life and in my career. So yeah, I like that word complete. I feel like it's not ending either. I'm
Mhm.
always growing, I'm always learning. So
Yeah, I love
yeah.
that. And what did you feel like before?
Lost. Honestly, I was the person who was like, I'm 40, 40, I think it was 45 years old, and I'm in menopause, and this is the weight I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And it's just the new Jill. And I said that to myself, and I'm like, God, I'm so glad I found you and found this program, because I was lost. I just didn't know how to become the person that I am today.
Yeah. Yeah. I always describe it as like because I was there too at one point. It's like, this is my lot in life. It was like I just accepted defeat. But it wasn't empowering. It wasn't like, this is Laura now. It was like,
Oh,
this is Laura and this freaking sucks. Yeah. Yeah. So good. Casey, did you have your hand up?
I was just thinking of more things. I feel like I could go on forever, but the before after. But I think one thing I felt a lot was pain. So I had hurt and now I feel healed.
Uh, That's so cool. That's so awesome. Good job. You guys all did this too. Like, yes, the containers there and the programs there, but like you freaking did it. And that's so empowering too, to like know, like I did this for myself. Like, oh, I think proud is like one of, if we talk about this inside the experience a little bit, but I think proud is one of the, or empowered or accomplished, whatever. It's like one of the best feelings. It doesn't mean you feel proud and then you feel like you're better than anyone else. It just feels like, it's such a good feeling, I think. Carly, did you want to share, take us home, then we can end this fun open house?
Yeah. I think at the beginning, I was just like exhausted. Like I was doing all the things and working out and eating what I thought was like so healthy and trying to be everything for my family. And I was just worn out and like felt like none of it was working. No matter how hard I tried, it wasn't working. And yeah, so just like the kind of lost feeling. And after, yeah, I just feel definitely confident, empowered, and I know how to like find my inner voice and what I need to do and work my way through it. I think that's the coolest thing about this program is it's not just like every other thing you do to lose weight. They're like, okay, eat this many calories at this time and this much protein. And this is like really figuring out your own body and what you need and like working through it in like a real like scientific way. Does it work? Does it not work? What are you doing? Changing the parameters of it. And it like applies to so much in life that it's just like I could figure out anything now with that. So
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, anything else that you guys want to share? There is someone out there tonight that's like literally on the fence. They're like about to click the button. What is like one sentence you would say to them?
You won't regret it.
You won't regret it. Yeah.
you're
Yeah, I
worthy.
think that's exactly right. You won't you won't what it. You won't regret it. Because that's what people are scared of. They're scared they're going to regret it. They're scared they're going to waste their money. It's so good. Jill.
You're worthy.
Mm. Mhm. Jennifer, you look like you had one.
6 months from now, you will look back at the person you were tonight, and you will, like, I could weep with gratitude for my past self just taking that chance, because if eh, the idea that I could still be where I was back then, I'm just so glad I'm not. Like, when I think about what I've accomplished and just how I feel about, I had a beautiful life. I just wasn't living it, and now I am. And so you will thank the version of you that exists in this moment 6 months from now. You will thank her and you will honor her.
Oh, that gave me the chills. God, we gotta like make that like a billboard. Like I had a beautiful life, I just wasn't living it. Was that it?
Mhm.
Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, Jennifer. Oh, Carly. So
I
good.
think it's just like, what do you have to lose trying this? And like,
Yeah.
you're in pain now, or you wouldn't be here. There's something you're uncomfortable with. You aren't feeling settled in your life and your body right now. That's why you're here. Change is hard. Like it's gonna be a challenge, but what do you want? The difficulty of change or the difficulty of staying the same? And like sit with that. Like if you try, you can say, I did it. And if you sit there and you're choosing the discomfort you have today.
I know it's so powerful. That's so good. I love that. Sit with that. And then click sign up. No, just kidding. Casey, bring us home, girl.
No pressure. I just think of like so much compassion for anyone listening or going through what we've all gone through. And I just feel like from my heart, like I promise you that you will not regret it. And it will be the best thing you've ever done for yourself. And that will start to feel more comfortable. I think any fear or reservation comes from evidence that like has proven not to be what they were looking for. So if they do have some evidence like, oh, I've done all the things, it's like, you've never done this. I promise you, it's not like anything else you have or will ever need to do ever again.
Yeah, that is so true.
And even if you didn't want to do it for weight loss, even if you're like, I only really want to lose like 2 pounds or whatever, if you just want to improve anything in your life, like I would do it just for that.
I love that. So good. Okay, you guys. All right. Anybody that, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. You can always email me, Laura at lauraconley.com. Go to lauraconley.com to sign up. We start tomorrow. It's going to be so good. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. This was so fun. Really nothing I'd rather be doing on a Monday night. Not even kidding. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for being here. And I will see you inside the Yummy Mommy experience. Bye, y'all.
Oh my God. I was right? They were good. That open house was OMG. It was rich with content. It was, so good. Am I right or am I right? This is for you. These women were just like you are right now. So was I. Get out of your own way. Suspend your disbelief. Put my belief in you in that spot. And LFG. I'll see you on October 31st for our first official call. Love you, babes. Have the best week ever. Bye. Hey, if you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, I would love it if you leave a rate, review, and a subscribe on whatever you're listening to this podcast in. Pretty pleased with a cherry on top. It would help me so much, and it would help all the other mamas out there hear this message. Thank you in advance. I really appreciate it. And you have to come check out the Yummy Mommy experience. It's my proven lose weight for the last time group coaching and course. Head to lauraconley.com and just click work with me. Other than that, you guys, I would love to give you a free gift. If you want your free listener only gift, go to lauraconley.com/gift. And from there, you will get your free best ever weight loss hack. So cool. The last thing I want to tell you, you guys, is I do have a free Facebook group. It's called, you guessed it, The Yummy Mommy. Lose weight for the last time, end body drama, and get food freedom. You can just search that in Facebook, or again, you can head to the show notes and you'll find the link there. All right, you guys, have the best day ever.